Okay, thank you everyone for coming to the candidate forum. We'll see if I can actually talk in this thing because I like to move my hands and then it's not by my mouth. It's going to work like this. Jerry Richmond from WT&K is our moderator and timer. We have most of the candidates seated over here. He will call the candidate. They will walk up to where I am, use the microphone, do their 3-minute speech for the mayor's 5 minutes. And then it would be handy if you would exit off this side. So we just keep everybody flowing as quickly as possible. That's about it. We will do the commissioners, then the sheriff candidates, and then we will do the mayoral candidates. The mayors will come up. Jerry will call them off the ballot order. They will each have 5 minutes, and then they will each have 3 questions, and we drew for the order for that, and they will rotate through their questions as well. And Jerry has the secret questions. No one knows the questions. We ask that you silence your cell phones, just like the movies, and no applauding and no questions from the audience. Okay, we ready to go? Great, thank you for coming.
Let's pray together. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day you've given us. Thank you for this opportunity that we have to gather at this time. Thank you that we live in a free country where we can come together and exercise this political process. Father, pray that we'll learn more about the candidates tonight. Father, just bless the time that we have together. Watch over us and take care of us in everything we do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Commissioners, they have 3 minutes. I will be timing them. Gentlemen and ladies, if you're going up to that 3-minute mark, about 15 seconds left, I will stand to let you know your time is about out. Just going simply by District 1 through 9. So Commissioners, District 1, Kenneth Buckmaster.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to see all of you here. Appreciate you coming. My name is Ken Buckmaster, represent the 1st District. First term, last election, I ran based on my wish for fiscal responsibility and transparency in government. Let me explain that to you. I've lived here for 30 years. I've seen a lot of things go on that don't allow commissioners to properly represent their constituents. Maybe some decisions being made where they shouldn't be made. We've come a long way, a lot of that. The fiscal responsibility has a lot to do with how we spend money, what we spend it on. My thought is it doesn't do you any good to buy a new jail, new police cars, new ambulances if you can't afford people to sit in them. We're the employees, you're the customers. We're the employers. We hire employees to service you. We need to pay them properly, get them what they need to give you a good service. We've just done a lot to do that as well, but we still got things we need to do. With that, because we haven't done everything I wanted to do, I wanted to run again to see if we can't get a little farther down the road, providing better services for you, giving you more information about what your government's doing, so that you can help us make the decisions you want us to make.
Thank you. David Noller.
My name's David Noller. I represent the 1st District. This is my 20th year of representing the 1st District. Before then, I've been on the school board for about 10, 11 years. And then before that, I was on the old city council. Been around when you have to make tough decisions. I remember cut my 2nd term in the county court. We had to raise taxes. County was broke. Now you were talking about tough. That was a tough vote. And we had to do it 2 years in a row, but then we got back on our feet. And then later in life, we lowered taxes. So we got a chance to be on both sides of everything. So it comes down to sometimes you have to make a decision you have a lot of people that's going to call you that don't like something. Well, you have to look at that question and decide is it best for just them or is it best for the county? And sometimes you have to make that vote that's best for the county, not just for that one group of group of people. So I appreciate y'all coming tonight and just come please vote for me. Thank you.
John Mark Presley. Mark Irvin Presley, my mistake.
My name is Mark Presley. I'm running for Commissioner, District 1. My wife and I live here on Green Top, have 2 children. Some of the things I'm active in, right now, I'm president of the Rotary Club. I'm on the board of directors of Chamber of Commerce, Lions Club, and co-organizer of the 4th of July parade. The president and organizer of the nonprofit organization Hartsville Strong. My wife and I attend First Baptist Church here in Hartsville. I love our little town and try to stay active, help anybody I can, help people in need. I like planning events and stuff, bring people inside our town while they're here. Hopefully they'll buy food, get gas. So we're very fortunate to live here in Trousdale County. It's a small town with a small town atmosphere. Everybody knows everybody. You wave at each other going down the road, and it's just a great place to live. I mean, we also have good roads. We're close to both 40 and 65, so there's plenty of reasons for people to move here. Some of my concerns I'd like to take care of is help making the best decisions that with when that way you can spend that money that you save in other areas on our county to be safe. I support the fire rescue, EMS, sheriff's department. We got good school systems here. We got TCAP here. So there's many, and also we got the river here. How many counties would love to have a river going through it? So I just want to try to boost the economy, factories and companies that request to come here. Hopefully we can make the right decisions for the ones that are coming here. The more time we have people working here in Hartsville, if they work here, they're going to shop here. So I would definitely like more industry and just to keep our small town like it should be. Thank you. I appreciate your vote.
District 2, Shane Burton. Carla Jean Ferrara.
Hello, I'm Carla Jean Ferraro. I'm running for commissioner in District 2. I actually ran the last time, but had a heart attack and emergency open heart surgery, so I'm going again. I have been a nurse for 42 years. I am now retired since my heart attack. I am devoting myself to my farm of 42 acres in the Cato area, and I love where I live. I am not a native. I've lived in Tennessee since 1998, and I've lived in Hartsville, Trousdale County area since 2006. I do believe that with my experience in education, my master's is in planning and administration from the University of Cincinnati, and I really want to put what I have earned through the years and work hard to work for Trousdale County. I do believe one of the biggest things we are facing is growth. If you look in District 2, you can go down Lick Creek. Every house on one side of the street is new in the last 3 years, and 2 of them are up for sale now. If you go down another area, another farm is now in 10 parcels, is being auctioned off in, I think, the 25th. So we are seeing growth in District 2 as well as the whole county as a whole. We do not have business in District 2 other than the prison and the industrial park over there. So we don't have much opportunity except farmers, home businesses, things like that. But I'm very fiscal responsible. I am very conservative in how I spend my money and how I would spend somebody else's money, or vote to spend somebody else's money. I wouldn't get to spend it, but you know what I mean. In growth, we're looking at, are we going to need more schools, bigger schools? Are we going to have classroom sizes that are manageable? Are we going to have a budget that is manageable? Are we going to need a firehouse annex somewhere? Because, you know, my understanding is if there's a certain population, you have to be within so much distance of a firehouse. And if we've got the west side growing and the east side's growing, are we going to need annexes for that to provide them with the fire safety that all of us want and need? Are we going to need, I mean, the big opportunity for District 2 also is the bridge coming across the river. Hopefully, in the next 3 years, that will be there. That's going to be an avenue for businesses even to look at coming across there, because they're going to bypass Hartsville. So maybe that's something we can work on in the next 4 years. I appreciate you listening to me, and I hope you'll vote for me come August 4th. Thank you.
Landon Gully.
All right. Hello, my name is Landon Gully, running again for District 2 Commissioner. I've enjoyed the last 4 years serving in this district. There's a lot you can learn sitting at these seats. You know, I won't say that I had any true clue of what I was getting into 4 years ago. Just to be honest with you, I came to quite a few meetings to get an idea when I put my name in the hat to run. And in learning how government works and how these pieces continue to move, it is a great opportunity to see folks coming out. I hope you come to more of these events as we go forward, because it's certainly an opportunity for you to see how your works at play. I've been born and raised right here in Trousdale County, resident my entire life, as I say there in this case. Love this little town. And, you know, as I look at this town, I definitely know we see one thing is happening. It's growing a bit. We need to find a way that we manage growth and still continue to keep that small town feel that we have here in this case that I love. And the one reason I continue to stay here, and it seems like a whole lot of others love, because they're moving in as we're seeing those pieces. That's kind of a piece that I'm on. You know, there's a lot of things we do here in this court that, as you look at it, there's some times that they're controversial. And I love when that opportunity comes out that we get good, healthy debate. I hope we can all still leave and sometimes maybe disagree, but still understand that we're all going to be here to try to do the best we can for each and every one in the county. That's where I stand on each thing. Each time something comes to our plate, I'll put my time in to look into it. As many of you may know me, I'm Mr. Gully to a whole this county. I worked in the school system for most of my adult life, and that's where I continue to stay right here in this system and continue to work for Trousdale County kids and for Trousdale County public. Time there.
District 3, Grant Cothran.
Good afternoon. My name is Grant Cothran, born and raised here in Trousdale County. I'm seeking my first election for District 3 County Commissioner. One of the reasons why I decided to put my name in the hat and run for this time is there's generations that are getting older that have led this county for a long time. I feel like it's kind of my obligation as a younger generation to kind of step up and help lead this county, direct this county in the way that it's going, and try to do a little bit better job. Not that the ones have done a bad job so far. Kind of my goals as county commissioner, it's already kind of been said here before, is I like the small town feel. There's a lot of people that's moving into our county from across the country that see what we see in this county. Small town, the small town feel, small town school is something that we can get used to and enjoy here. With that being said, growth is here and it's coming, but we need to also remember that we have county employees and sheriff's department deputies and ambulance services and fire department that we need to take care of also. I work in Lebanon. I've been in there for 5 years now with their police department. I've seen the growth that's coming to this area. A lot of the things that Lebanon is seeing is a lot of houses, and the police department now is struggling to keep up their staff and their services. I don't want to see Trousdale County get to that way. I think that we can get ahead of it and kind of control that the best that we can. Like I said, I enjoy this small town feel, and I want to try to keep it that way for as long as we can. I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Jerry Ford.
And ladies and gentlemen, Ford, I've lived my life in Trousdale County. Married a girl down here in 1964, raised a girl and a son, both graduated from Trousdale County High. Had 6 grandchildren. The last one just graduated from high school. I've been a businessman in Trousdale County for 50 years. Matter of fact, just a little over 50 years. I've seen a lot come. And a good trip. I've served on the court a long time. I go back to the days of Ray Folk. In 1978, I was elected to the county court. I served 5 consecutive terms in the court. The only one I ever sat down with at budget time would look at us commissioners and say, now, gentlemen, don't be too hard on my taxpayers. Not one I ever heard say that, and I've sat through a bunch of them. Well, after serving 5 terms on the county court, I run the school board for 4 terms. 4 terms, and 8 years ago, I run county commission. Had been elected the last 2 terms. Decided I'd run one more time. Why? Because we face some very serious problems. We're going to have to go to jail. We're told it'll cost $20 to $25. I keep, where's the money coming from? Hadn't got an answer yet. Unless the county court said, well, you've got 40% of the people, 38 to 40% of the. I really hope that all the property owners, because it's going to be devastating if it does. I'm grateful to be here tonight. I want to thank the chamber for having this. It's great. In the 3rd district, considered I'm tight with it. I've always been tight with it. And for our county to go on, yes, you're going to need leadership. We're losing some good men this year. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
The next name, I'm going to apologize before I read it. Joseph Mashad Shawan. Apparently he's not here tonight. So we're going to Gary Walsh. District 4, Terry Bubba Gregory.
Good evening, everyone. Glad everyone showed up. I'm Bubba Gregory. It's Terry Gregory, but I think everybody in this town, if you know me as Bubba Gregory. I've been serving the county commissioner since 2010. One reason I run back then, I was worried about property taxes going up. I would complain. I was the one that complained, worried about them going up. I said, well, if I'm gonna complain, I need to get in and try to do my part to keep them down. When I first got elected, we was borrowing money to make the payroll. Borrowing the payroll. That's how bad that our general fund had got. Now, our general fund, I say, is in a pretty decent shape. I've been serving on the budget and finance since I've been elected. I think the ones that's been on the budget and finance the past few years has did a heck of a job. I've been a small business owner in this town. If you go drive down and see the Citgo store, Bubba's Market, I was the one that started that. It had been closed up probably 4 or 5 years when I opened it. And I had a lot of people say, you'll never make it. You got the service stations up the road here. I said, well, nobody's going to outwork me. I take pride, work ethic. And it says you go down now, the store's still open, and I think it's still doing good. And our partners in another business, experience in small business, really helps with the county court being on budget and finance and the committees I'm on. I've served as chairman of several committees since I've been on the commission, and I'm chairman. Back in the early or late 80s, early 90s, I was a deputy sheriff here in the town. So I sort of know how county government operates from the sheriff's department aspect. And like I said, me and Lonnie Taylor are running in District 4 unopposed, but I would appreciate everyone's vote.
Lonnie Taylor.
Evening. I'm glad to see everybody here tonight. My name is Lonnie Taylor. Like he said, we're representing District 4. I am seeking re-election. I made the decision to run again this time based on the troubled waters we got ahead of us coming in the next 4 years or so. I just didn't feel like it was time for me to set it out. We are facing a lot coming forward. I mean, echoing a lot of what these gentlemen have said and these ladies have said earlier this evening. There's a lot on our plate coming forward. So I'd appreciate you guys if you would keep me in mind, or actually we're running unopposed. So that is a blessing in that respect. I'm going to throw one more thing out there for everybody. I stand with our friends to the south in the 6th district. Their situation down there is dire. And I stand with them. I also stand with Amber Russell and Richard Harsh in their battle, what they're trying to do down there. I know they're feeling the weight of the world on their shoulders. And don't forget to vote in August. Thank you.
District 5, Will Dennis.
Hello, everyone. A lot of you know me. I know a lot of you, but my name is Will Dennis. I've lived in the 5th District, Trousdale County for about 18 years. I've got 2 children in the school system here in Trousdale County. I'm running for the 5th District Commissioner because I'm eager to learn about how our county government works. And I want to stand up and be counted and be an example to my children. I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for having this for us tonight. And on August 4th, I greatly appreciate your vote if you're in the 5th District. Thank you very much.
Leslie Overman.
Hello, I'm Leslie Overman. I am the current 5th District Commissioner. I am running unopposed. I am not a public speaker. I am not a politician. I am a mom and I am a wife and I'm a small business owner. And I believe strongly that it's time for normal people, regular people to stand up and get involved. So that's what I'm doing. So go vote.
District 6, Wilson Carmen. Amber Russell. District 7, Gary Clarity.
Good evening. My name is Gary Clarity. I live down the 7th District down on Oldham Road. Been about 18 years now. And I'm just echo everything that everybody says. I'm running again to try to help the county out. It's not benefited me as a commission in any way other than being a citizen, working together with everybody and trying to keep everything under control. We've got property tax since I've been on down. I think they started at 310. I think they're down now to 197. So that's been done over the last several years. And we don't look like it's going to go up maybe in no time soon. And the biggest problem we're going to have is, like I said, is the jail coming in. That's going to be the biggest expense that's ever pretty much hit Trousdale County. And maybe we can get some grants and work on that or some way or something instead of putting all the money on the county's citizenship. And if anybody's here in the 7th District, I appreciate your vote. If you would, remember me in August.
Also in District 7 is Chris Gregory. He is not here tonight. He has sent us a letter. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Gregory and I'm running for County Commission seat representing Trousdale County 7th District. I apologize that I'm unable to be in person tonight, but I'm on a previously scheduled vacation. Thank you to Natalie Knutson and the Chamber Board for allowing me to submit this statement and to speak to you by proxy. A little bit about my background. I've lived in Trousdale County for 15 years and served as editor of the Hartsville Bidep from October of 2014 until March of this year. My son Jay is a 2017 graduate of Trousdale County High School. I'm president-elect of the Hartsville Rotary Club and a member of the boards for the Community Health Center, the Hartsville Backpack Program, and Trousdale County Christmas for Kids. Why am I running for County Commission? The short version is Trousdale County has become a place I'm proud to call home. And like anyone else, I want my hometown to be a successful one. What defines a successful community? To me, it's a recipe whose ingredients include good jobs, a welcoming business environment, strong infrastructure, and managed growth. Trousdale County faces some unique challenges in the coming years: building and paying for a new jail, improving water and sewer availability, reviving the downtown Hartsville area, properly funding one of the best school systems in Tennessee, expanding fire protection. These are just a few of the issues facing us. For the past 7+ years, I've watched county government operate from the sidelines. Now I believe it's time for me to do more than watch. It's time to get involved. It is time to do my part in helping Trousdale County continue to become a vibrant, strong community while also retaining the small town values and sense of welcoming that makes this such a wonderful place to raise a family. The only promise I will make anyone is to listen. As a commissioner, I believe my primary job will be to serve as the voice of my constituents in county government. I pledge to always be accessible to the people I serve. I hope the people of the 7th District will entrust me with this opportunity, and I thank you for listening. I would appreciate your support and your vote on August the 4th. That is from Chris Gregory. Judy Kerr.
Hello, my name is Judy Kerr. I've lived in Trousdale County most of my life. I was born and raised here. I've worked 36 years in state government with 2 separate departments. Trousdale County is on the verge of growing, and I believe it is very important that we do it right. I do believe that we will need to build a good sheriff. We've already got a good sheriff's department, but I am for the new jail, and I want our growth to be done in a very good way. I have not served on the commission in the past. I do ask you for your vote, and my desire is to serve you and to serve this county. Thank you.
District 8, Brian Crook. Stephanie Urick.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Urick. I'm going to try to talk loud enough because it's very hard to hear in here. But I am running for county commissioner for District 8 because 3 years ago in District 8, we had a situation come up where there was some land that I'm sorry, I'm not going to ignore you guys, but it doesn't work when I try to look that way. We had some land on Skillet Creek Road that was up to be developed by a developer that didn't live here, and he wanted to put some houses closer together. And we felt like should be put out there. And when I went around to meet our neighbors to talk about it, people started asking me if I would run. That weighed heavy on me, and I've prayed about it a lot over the last 3 years. And I believe that I needed to run. I hope, and my prayer is that if it's God's will to represent my district, that'll come to pass. I would appreciate your vote. I'm a mother of 5 children. I homeschool my kids. I grew up here. I graduated from the schools here. I appreciate them and I support them. I have a love of teaching, and I was able to do this. And I thank God for that. I know it's not for everybody, but I love my community, and I want to watch it grow in the areas that it needs to grow in. But I want to make sure that we do it wisely. And that's really all I have to say. I'd appreciate your vote on August 4th. Thank you.
Stephen Whitaker.
It's good to be here. My name is Steve Whitaker. I live in the Gravel Hill community. I am a second-term county commissioner from the 8th district. I appreciate, and it's a privilege to serve in that area. My greatest concern, just like everybody else, is growth. We are going to experience it, but it's not that we should be afraid of growth, because we should welcome it. We should welcome different people in here that have a diversity of talents, that have a diversity of gifts and fresh ideas. But we also have to measure that against what we already have. We don't want to lose our way of life simply because we have other new people moving in. Over the past 8 years, I have saw a lot of changes in Trousdale County. We now have internet access all over the county. We have a school system that's second to none. We have growth that's going on right now. Our taxes are up, our land values are up, and that is why it is so necessary to balance those that's moving in here, the new that's moving in with the people that's already here. We don't want to lose our way of life, even though we welcome everybody else, because growth, if it's managed right, should almost take care of itself. But we need everybody to need to make sure that those in the rural parts of the county, just like Gravel Hill, get the same representation as those that's in the city. Because it doesn't matter what's going on Front Street, on our main street, if we're not going to take care of our people on our street. We need to represent everybody in our communities. I won't delay. Thank you for the time. It's your vote and it's your voice. Thank you.
We got lucky. District 9, Richard Johnson.
Hello. It's good to be in front of you all tonight. First of all, I want to say that I was elected county commissioner in 1986, and I've been county commissioner for over 4 years since. So it's about 30-something years in it. I work with the town of Hartsville and the city of Hartsville and the county put together, and I got quite a few years with both of them. I enjoyed every bit of my work. I worked hard, and I'm still raring to go because I'm a little bit younger now than I used to be, but I don't believe in giving up. I believe in keeping on. Keeping on for what, you say? Well, you got a lot of people right now that won't do anything, won't work or won't do nothing. Why not keeping on and try to do the best you can at anything you're doing? That's the way I feel. The town of Hartsville and the county, Trousdale County, has been good to me. God has blessed me with a good job with the county, with the city of Hartsville, and allowed me to do my work when it comes time to work. And I think you'll find that I've got a good work record and a record of being a county commissioner. Well, I have made quite a few mistakes, but who don't make a mistake every once in a while? Don't condemn one man for one mistake. If everybody else makes one, they should do like I try to do, not make the same mistake twice. That's the way I work, that's the way I feel, and that's what I was born to do. I was born in Trousdale County, 1934, on a little street called Tin Cup Alley. There's all of you people out there don't know where Tin Cup Alley is. Jared there probably does. He knows where Tin Cup Alley is, and I guarantee you I can point it out to you, but I didn't want to get into that too much. But I wanted to, all of y'all know that I was trying to be a good commissioner, And I'll keep on trying to be a good commissioner. And when I get where I can't go, if I make it back, if I get reelected, which I think I will. If I get reelected, then if I get down the line somewhere where I can't go no more, I'll stand up here one night and tell the chairman of the court, and say, I'm gonna tell him I'm done. See me next, just see me later, because when this meeting's over, this is my last meeting. I plan to do that. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you people for listening to me, and I appreciate all of it.
Rachel Jackson Jones.
Can everybody hear me? My name is Rachel Jackson Jones, and I want to welcome everyone here today. And I want to thank the Chamber for inviting us. I am Trousdale County born and raised. I live on Damascus Avenue across from the baseball park with my two daughters. Olivia is 21 and Joy is 16. They are the pride and joy of my life. I have been a nurse since 1989, and I've been a small business owner. And currently, since January of 2021, I have been working in the office of Senator Bill Haggerty. I am the current Trousdale County Republican Party chairperson. This is my second term. I have been I'm a sitting commissioner for District 9. I was appointed in 2017 and I ran in 2018, and I'm running again and asking for your vote. I want to echo what a lot of people have already said tonight about the growth in this county. To say that we're growing is an underestimate. In 2021, we were the largest, fastest growing county in Tennessee with 28% growth, followed by Rutherford County, Wilson County, and Montgomery County. That is a lot of growth for any county, but especially for a small county. I think of our county growth kind of like if you have a garden. You can have all the seeds you want, you can plant all you want, but if you cannot irrigate or you cannot fertilize your garden, it's not going to grow. Something's going to suffer. And that's kind of how I feel about the growth in our county. I think that we cannot sustain that rapid of a growth without it affecting our infrastructure, our school system, our emergency services. And I think that is something that is going to have to be addressed in this this next cycle. We have discussed about needing a jail. I think everybody has heard that. That is not a want, that is a need. Thankfully, with growth, you do have increased revenue. So that will help offset some of the costs for that. We also have the water tower that we're going to have to get. So there's a lot of things facing this county, and I think that with managed growth and I'll reference back to my garden. You have to pick and choose what you want to be in your garden, what's going to be most beneficial for your crop. And I think that's the same thing that we have to do with our county. We have to manage the growth, and we have to pick and businesses that can best benefit our county. So I would like to humbly ask you for your vote, and thank you all again for coming.
Marshall Mahan.
Hi. I'm gonna read this. I did this afternoon. I'm gonna read it. I don't want to miss any of these points that I've come up with here. I'm asking for your support for the 9th district in the county commissioner's race. And I've lived in District 9 for 27 years. And for many years, I have been a leader in my work. in maintenance, industrial maintenance, and I have never been in politics. And I was thinking about what to say here tonight. And so I did like every married man, and I asked my wife. She told me not to be too witty or too charming or try to be too intellectual, just be myself. So that's me. That's what I get here tonight. I believe the commissioner is not a powerful position, but rather it's that of a servant. And since I've never held office, I don't know what campaigns to promise you except to apply the golden rule. Strive to be the county commissioner that I would want to have represent me and my family and my friends. And I will take your voice to the county commission meetings. When I decided to run for this position, it seemed to be a good idea to start attending the meetings. See how everything works. I learned quickly that government is a complex business, and there's a lot of folks that want to influence decisions that are being made on our behalf. My eyes were opened when I realized that I am just like everybody else who's busy and working a job to pay bills, and I was not taking the time to know what's going on in the courthouse. My goal, if y'all elect me, is to be a conduit of information on the issues that are important to you and to hear what you want to have carried back into the meetings. I want to thank you for your time and thank the chamber for putting this together. And thank you for your attention. I do pray that God will give us all the wisdom to make the right decisions on August 4th. And thank you very much.
David Thomas.
Good evening. My name is David Thomas. I spoke at the Grace Baptist Church forum that they had and realized that I've lived here for over 20 years, graduated back in '96. And a lot of people don't know me. They know my mother, Grace Thomas, or if Amy Thomas, or they know me as son of or husband of. So I want to take an opportunity just to let y'all get to know me a little better. My family moved here back in '91 from living a year out in California, taking care of my father's mother while she was aging. My mom grew up in Columbia, Tennessee, and so we ended up moving back here. Mom and dad both were out of the military. Getting raised by two sergeants is an interesting way of growing up. But it does give me a perspective of sometimes things just are the way they are. And whether you like it or not, it's the situation you're given and you do the best with it. A lot of people up here tonight have been talking about the coming issues. Well, the problem is all these issues have been known about coming. The growth, no one believed it. I had many conversations. I've been on the planning commission for 6 years now. The first thing I realized when I got on the planning commission is there was no plan. It was, here's your zoning ordinances, here's your subdivision stuff. If whatever comes through meets these criteria, you approve it and you send it on. Okay, well, that's great, but shouldn't we have districts and areas that the community wants to grow businesses here and industry over here and agricultural? No, we don't get to do that. Well, then I found out that the commission's the only one who sets the zoning regulations that tells the planning commission how to direct things that come through. So instead, I've done as much as I can on planning and I enjoy being on there. But since I'm not getting any direction currently in the last couple of years from, well, I guess it would go back almost 10 years now from the commission, I want your vote so that I can get onto the commission and help get things moving. Mayor Chambers in his term has gotten things moving from the state's level and from GNRC, a company that we hire to assist us in these matters to try to get these things moving. COVID really put a stop to a lot of that. We still don't have a plan. We have the startings of a plan, but there is no plan, and the growth's not going to stop. Thank you.
District 10, Beverly Atwood.
Hello, thank you for everyone for coming out. Thank you to Miss Natalie and the chamber for doing this. My name is Beverly Atwood. I am seeking re-election for the 10th district. I have lived in Trousdale County for over 25 plus years, married to my husband of over 22 years. So we do have a son that attends Trousdale County High School. Past election, I did decide to run because voice for the people. I wanted to listen to everyone. There are going to be times that we're going to agree, we're going to disagree, just like Mr. Gully said. You know, I mean, that's just part of it. That is always good. Just because we don't agree on what you want exactly around your home or in your district does not mean that we are not listening to you. There are lots of things that we do have in the works that I've been a part of in different communities that I would like to see done and fulfilled. So that is why I have decided to seek re-election. So please go and vote on August the 4th. Thank you.
Mary Ann Baker.
My name is Mary Ann Baker, and I've lived in the 10th district for 25 years with my husband, Carl. I'm running again for my second term as county commissioner. I've really enjoyed serving. One of the issues I think Trousdale County has is our employees. We've got a lot of good county employees, but they've been taken for granted, I think. COVID come along, that had a huge impact. But a lot of our county employees, they worked, they showed up every day, and I'd just like to run again to serve the people of Trousdale County.
Tommy Belcher.
My name is Tommy Belcher. I've been a lifelong resident of Trousdale County all my life. Lived in Priorsby all my life. And I know I was on county court for 12 years. I was on school board for 4 years. I've seen a lot of problems come before us, and it all worked out. But I know there's a lot of hard problems coming up, and I want to be to help make some hard decisions and see if we can straighten it out. So thank you for everything, and thank you for my vote. Thank you.
Wayne Brown. Okay, we're to the sheriff candidates. They will get 3 minutes as well. And Miss Natalie took this off just like it came off the ballot. David Gunner. Daniel Gunner.
Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel Hunter. I've noticed quite a trend of kind of growing up, working in Trousdale County. We've experienced tons of growth, as everybody has said. Part of that growth has come to us in the building of a school. in the early 2000s. With the growth of the school, expect your sheriff's office to keep with the same pace, the same rate of growth. And that's something that we really kept. In 2001, when we become metropolitan government, we had 2 patrol deputies and a sergeant per shift. That's still what we have today on every shift. 1 deputy for city, 1 deputy for a county, and a supervisor. As Mr. Whitaker said, everybody in the county, depending on, shouldn't depend on where you live. However, if you live in the city, you get better police services. You live in the county, good luck. Part of what I want to run for is to keep our county safe. We're 12th in the state of Tennessee out of counties for speed-related crashes. That's a big number for a small county. That just comes down to a direct lack of enforcement. To keep our roadways safe, we need deputies to patrol our roadways, keep our crashes down. That comes out of proactive patrols, issuing summonses when needed, but making sure everybody is safe. Our schools, our SROs are put into a position where they get a certification. They go to that school to stay. They don't attend any continued education as far as DARE. There's no programs or classes that are implemented from that SRO to the school. Something I think we should bring back to our schools. We need a good DARE program. We struggle with drugs in our county. Part of keeping our community safe is really just giving proper police services to known drug users and drug houses. If we just sit back and watch and allow that behavior to continue, it doesn't matter who gets in the positions of what we have. 4 more years at the current rate is too much. We have a lot of things that we need to address. The jail, it's going to grow by 400%. And the amount of beds that we hold, that's a big number too. Thank you. Thank you for your vote. It meant the world to me. Thank you again.
Ray Russell.
Hello, I'm Ray Russell, your sheriff. I've been a sheriff here in Trousdale County for 26 years. I've been with the department for 33 years. This is the only department I've ever worked for, is Trousdale County. And I've loved this county. I had opportunities to leave in 1994. I had opportunity to go to Tennessee Highway Patrol, and I turned it down to stay here. And the reason I stay here, because like I said, I love this county. This is where I want to work and where I want to live. My wife, Susan, we've been married for 31 years. She's got Miss Susan's daycare here in Trousdale County. That's the reason I stayed. In 1994, we started building a daycare. And when I had opportunity to go to Highway Patrol, and I decided to stay here, this is where I wanted to be. Some of the things some of the commissioners have touched on about our new jail, myself and the mayor, some other county commissioners have toured 8 jails in the past 2 months all across the state of Tennessee, trying to get ideas and needs of what we need for our jail and how big it should be. We have a needs assessment will come in with the state from TCI, and CTAS will evaluate our needs here for our new jail and give us guidance on how we need to build it and do it the right way where we can save money. And we have a staffing analysis will be done too before the jail is built. Once we get a blueprint of it, that way we'll know how many employees extra it's going to take to run it. So that way the county commission won't be running blind when it is time to staff the new jail. Talking about patrol, our patrol, I'm going to have a staffing analysis done probably this year to see what our needs assessment is as far as patrol. I'd done it about 8 years ago and seen what our needs were then. Like I say, our county has grown a few thousand people in the last few years, and that needs assessment will tell me how much we will need for our population. I appreciate y'all's vote. Anything y'all need, just pick up the phone and call me, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Done. All right. Been here about an hour. You want to stand, stretch for just a few minutes? Don't be running off. Stand up, stretch. We got the mayoral candidates coming up. Stretch. Stretch a little bit.
A wireless mic clip I can put on that mic stand over there, which will hold the mic. So I know the clip, but from cutting out.
Thank you.
We've actually used these mics. We're gonna need to get the antennas up. Stick a mic stand up here.
That mic
I can get a mic stand.
Okay.
Put that music stand up here.
They probably still grab it to get it in front of their mouth, won't they? Time. You need to talk.
This and turn this off. Yeah, we're gonna go.
If you would start making your way back to your seats. If you would make your way back to your seats, please. If you would settle in. All right, y'all ready to go? Your attention, please. We're going to hear from the mayoral candidates here in just a moment, but our district attorney general, Jason Lawson, is visiting with us, and we're going to let him talk for just a moment. Jason? I think you can go there and turn that on.
All right, they changed it up on me a little bit here. I was looking for that handheld mic. So, I'm Jason Lawson. I am your district attorney, and I've already been told, listen, I know you're a lawyer, but you only have 3 minutes. So, but I have enjoyed serving you all for the past year. I was appointed by Governor Lee last year, and looking out over Trousdale County tonight, I kind of feel like automatically I've got an uphill climb because I'm from Watertown. So there we go. I'll go ahead and get that out of the way. And then I got to follow Tommy Thompson as the DA. But last year when I was appointed by the governor, Tommy was a great help in helping me get that position. I've worked at the DA's office for 20 years. And over the past, goodness, probably 6 or 7 years, I had been Tommy's top assistant before I got appointed. And he and I would go try cases together. And I just treasure greatly the relationship that he and I have and what I've been able to learn from him. I used to tell people, I said, when we go try cases together, I'm that young lawyer who can get on the computer and find out all of the things that we can do. And then Tommy's that older, wise lawyer that looks at all that and says, I'm going to tell you the one thing we should do. And so it was just a valuable learning experience for me to be able to work alongside him. Since I've taken over the position for him in April of last year, it's been a challenging position. It's been a rewarding position. I've enjoyed getting to know the people across the 5 counties of the district. And I've spent my career being a prosecutor, and I love being a prosecutor. I love working with victims. I love working with our law enforcement. It is something that I spend time in prayer on every single day to make sure that God helps my assistants to make the right decisions in court and protects our law enforcement officers. It's very important to me that we are the type of prosecutors that you expect to see in your court system. I've gotten the opportunity to know probably about half the people in this room, and I'm looking forward to get to know the rest of you. Some people have asked me, they said, why are you still going out and running a campaign, even though you are running unopposed for this August election? And I tell them that really the biggest reason for me is because I believe that people deserve and have a right to know who their public officials are. There's a lot of you that have not ever had a chance to meet me or get to know me, and it's important that I can come up and you can put a face with a name, shake my hand, know that my office is available. I'll be happy to take any phone calls you've got, talk to you about any issue that's coming up. I want our criminal justice system to be what you expect our criminal justice system to be. And I believe that there is nobody who holds a more key position in our criminal justice system to our prosecutors. Our judges, they don't know the cases. They have to be neutral, and they have to hear that proof when it comes to the witness stand. The ones that are knowing the facts, the strengths, the weaknesses, the ones that are making the decisions in cases, those are the prosecutors. Those are the ones who are making a decision about what are we willing to accept in this case? What are we willing to settle this? Is this a case where we're not going to have a settlement? We're going to put our foot on the gas pedal and take this case to trial. And we have to make decisions between people. I'm standing up here. We have to make decisions between people who who gets a second chance and who needs to be removed from our community. And so I'm just going to work my very hardest over these next 8 years to do that to the very best of my ability. I'm not Tommy, but I think that if I do the job that Jason can do to the best of Jason's ability, that you all will be pleased with the service that you get. So I'm Jason Lawson. I appreciate your vote, and thank you so much. And I look forward to getting to meet you.
Trying to figure out if one has to be turned off. I guess not. Okay. We have the mayoral candidates, and we're going to go just like they'll be on the ballot. They're going to have 5 minutes apiece. And we'll start with Stephen Chambers.
Well, good evening. I want to welcome everyone here to the courthouse. I'm glad the HVAC system is partially working. We've had trouble with it here in the last few days. I also want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for putting this on, and all the candidates for coming here to speak tonight. As I said, I am Stephen Chambers, and I am the current mayor of Hartsville, Trousdale County. I graduated from Trousdale County High School here in 1995. Being here in Trousdale County, I commuted back and forth from MTSU and Vol State when I graduated from both of those. Also commuted back and forth to Nashville School of Law, and when I graduated from there. I've been a member of several state and regional boards. And the reason I did that is because I attended some of these and saw that we did not have representation attending these. Some of those are our rural planning organization, which is who cooperates with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for our transportation projects. And another one at the time was called the Fore Lake Regional Industrial Development Authority. Now it's called Tennessee Central. That is a regional economic development authority that was created to help jobs when the TVA plant closed down. I saw what it could do reading the statute, and I saw what it had done. It was not living up to its potential, and I asked and applied to Governor Haslam's office at the time to be appointed to that board. I was appointed. I worked with the state legislature to restructure that board to make it more efficient. And since that time, it has done leaps and bounds more than what I thought it could, not just for Trousdale County, but the surrounding region. Because when you do the economic development, you look at it as region. It's helped to create jobs such as Beretta, Baby Nove up in Red Bowling Springs. Christie's currently over in the industrial park here in Trousdale County in PowerCom. It's also worked to bring other ones here. AmeriColor that we have, it helped bring that here, and as well as helping startups such as Irish Fuel. During the pandemic, working with them, we've created over 130 jobs. Also been working to do retail development with, we did training, myself and Ms. Knudsen and a member of the Industrial Development Board, did some retail training with the state of Tennessee to help do retail recruitment. We also hired a retail recruiting firm to get more shops and businesses, because the last time I ran for election and since then I've heard we want more places to shop and more places to eat. Well, we've been working on doing that. The coronavirus was not a friend of us in those respects. However, in the last 2 or 3 months, we're starting to get a lot more interest in retail development here. I'm very positive what we've got going forward. Listen to the growth. That's one of the things that's going to help us in retail recruitment, because I say retail follows rooftops, and we've had a lot of rooftops here lately. As for the growth, when I came into office, there were several areas that we didn't have plans. We didn't have plans how we're going to improve our park. We didn't have plans for our transportation. We didn't have plans for our water and sewer. And I applied for a grant to do a master plan for the park. We then turned around and used that plan to apply for a local Parks and Recreation Fund grant to make improvements to Trade Park Playground. It was initially $94,000. Working with the state, they've been very pleased with our progress and what we're doing and our determination to fix that. And now the grant has been up to $600,000. So we're going to be able to improve Trade Park Playground all in one shot and make it more accessible for people that have disabilities and families that want to go out there and make better use of it. We've also been working with the state of Tennessee on their transportation planning. I want to thank Senator Hale for his assistance in getting the intersection out by the Dailies. And so that's McMurray Broadway intersection, getting that improved. That's going to really help out there. It also creates a better access to what is our most marketable commercial property there on that corner. Also working with the state to push to do the 141 project. They have put that in their FY23 budget. So it's supposed to go out to bid at about a year from now and then start construction. We've also been working with the Planning Commission. As you heard Mr. Thomas say earlier, we haven't had any plans. I worked with the Greater Nashville Regional Council to come in and tell them about a comprehensive development plan. Hopefully we will start that as soon as we finish another planning we're doing right now, which is a strategic plan for the next 5 years of what are our immediate goals. And those plans can be technology adoption, infrastructure improvements, those kind of things over the next 5 years. And then when we go to the comprehensive development plan, the Planning Commission will be working with the Highway Department, State of Tennessee, Water and Sewer Department to see where do we have the infrastructure currently, where do we want it to be, and how can we extend it and see where our development's going to be in the future. So those are some of the things I've been working on since I've been mayor, because I fully believe that to take advantage of the opportunities, you have to be prepared, and we're getting prepared. So again, I am Stephen Chambers. I'm the mayor of Hartsville, Trousdale County. And I've been honored to serve, and I hope you will vote for me again on August 4th and give me a second term. Thank you very much.
William Bill Ferguson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks to the Chamber of Commerce for allowing us to have the forum tonight. It's really nice to see everybody here. I'm Bill Ferguson, running for mayor. Tell a little bit about myself. And actually I have some notes here tonight that I was looking at. I don't want to miss anything, so I wrote some things down. When Jack came in tonight, he had some notes, but he stuck them in his briefcase. Couldn't read any of them. So we'll see him later. But I grew up on a farm at 420 Hawkins Branch Road, raised on a tobacco farm and a cattle farm and hay and whatever had to be done. It's on a farm that actually has been in my dad's family since 1826. It's one of the oldest farms in the state. So I'm the middle son of Pat and Nancy Ferguson. My mom's here tonight with my wife, Tanya. Some of you may know Pat Ferguson or knew Pat Ferguson. He was the county executive from 1988 until 2002. I asked John Oliver, the county historian, to look up some facts for us, and he did. And we have determined that Pat Ferguson was the longest serving mayor that Trousdale County has ever had. He served for 14 years. He retired in 2002. And since 2002, one day I talked to him and I said, Dad, I'm thinking about running for a commission spot. And he looked at me for a second and went, what do you want to do that for? And so I did run for that. And since 2002, we've had 4 mayors. I've served with all 4 of those. And so far, we've only had one that's been reelected. And that was early on in one of my services as a commissioner. So it's not an easy job to be the mayor. It's very difficult. In 1982, I graduated from Trousdale County High School. In 1987, I graduated from Austin Peay State University as a certified school teacher. And so I moved to Savannah, Georgia. I told my mom and dad, I said, I'm going to go move on to the ocean for a while and live. Didn't know a soul in the town, just got my belongings, which wasn't a whole lot, and moved to Savannah as a school teacher. So I stayed in Savannah for about 3 years. And then I moved to Atlanta, to Covington and Conyers, which is where I met my wife, Tanya. We now live at 845 Hawkins Branch Road. We've been there for some years, and we have 3 kids, Luke, Jake, and my 2 sons, and Caitlin, my daughter. So in my career, I've been a teacher, I've been a coach, I've been a salesperson. I worked for a company where I was a regional sales manager, was handed a booklet and said, Bill, go build this division in the Southeast. So I traveled in 7 states. I had 12 representatives that worked under my direction. I'm also right now, currently I'm a realtor, so I know firsthand about the growth that this county is experiencing. I see it firsthand. I see people that are from Utah and people from California and people from Michigan and from everywhere else. So I understand the concerns that we have as we grow as a county and as a state. We are the 3rd fastest growing area in the entire U.S. right now, Middle Tennessee. On a side note, Hartsville Little League president. I've been the Hartsville Little League president. I was also an organizing member of the Trousdale County Football League. I also am one of the voices on Friday night with Jerry Cheese Richmond down there at the football field. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. And for just a second, I want to talk about myself in terms of a commission history. I have served for 16 years. I've had the honor of serving for 16 years out of District 8. It's been a privilege to serve those people in that district. I've also served as the vice chairman of the entire county commission for 11 straight years, and they pick that every September. So for 11 straight years, I've been picked in that leadership role of the vice chairman of the commission. You know, I thought about going over in my committees. I had it on my card as I've gone out into the county to meet people. Some of you may have seen this card before, and there's a list. There's actually 12 different committees that I have served on in those last 16 years. Half of those I've either been the chairman or the vice chairman of, so I feel like I'm well-rounded. But, you know, I thought about going through that list in my 5 minutes tonight, and I thought, you know, there's something else that I believe in, that people, they really don't care what you know until they know that you care. And I want to make sure that I illustrate that tonight, because I care about the best asset that we have in Trousdale County. It's all of us that are sitting here tonight in this crowd. The people of Trousdale County are the best asset. Tonight, we may speak of a topic that, or maybe a topic that you are not interested in, or something that may be missed. I have a website, billfergusonformayor.com. I also have my cell phone number on that. So reach out to me and ask me to come visit with you. I certainly will. I'm not changing the number because I pass out too many pens in my real estate business. So I'd love to talk with you people out in the public as we go forward, and hopefully we'll talk about some topics tonight that concern you. Thank you so much for your time.
Jack McCall.
I teased Bill and the mayor the other night when we had one of these forums because I stood up and I looked at the mayor's notes, and then I looked at Bill's notes, and when the mayor came up, I said, "You've got really good notes," and he covered them up. So tonight I thought I'd make my own notes. This courtroom makes me think about, you know, when you stand up here and you've got the mayor who's been mayor for 4 years, and you got Bill who has served for 4 terms as commissioner, you think you're kind of like the new kid on the block, and what should I say? And the courtroom reminds me of a man that appeared before a judge one time, and he had committed a terrible crime, and the judge leaned forward and said, "I sentence you to 75 years in the state penitentiary." And the man said, "Your Honor, I am 69 years old. I cannot serve a sentence of that length." And the judge just leaned forward and patted his balding head and said, "Well, son, you just do the best you can." Well, that's what I'm going to do for a few minutes, the best I can. My name is Jack McCall. Most of you have seen my photograph around town. I have actively been involved in the life of this community for 38 years. I'm a graduate of the University of Tennessee. I graduated from the Graduate School of Banking at the LSU in the late 1980s. I received my CLU, Chartered Life Underwriter, CHFC, Chartered Financial Consultant from the American College.
My first job was with Tennessee Farm Bureau as a livestock market manager, where I had 30 people under me, and most of them were older than I was, and I was 21, and most of them thought they should have gotten the job. So I learned that people skills are very important early on in negotiating with folks and understanding where everyone else is coming from. After that, I worked for the Tennessee Department of Agriculture for a number of years. We had a USDA grant in electronic marketing, which Tennessee was the first state to have what they call board sales, whether you sell cattle by looking at a screen. And I had to get my auctioneer's license to sell feeder pigs over the phone. And then in 1984, because I had lived in Hartsville, married a Hartsville girl, I was recruited as a loan officer for Citizens Bank for a period of about 5 years, and then moved on to Cumberland Bank, and then had an option to purchase Donahoe and Jones Insurance Agency here in town. I found out I really liked estate planning, worked with some great mentors. And then I was recruited by, the fact is I always moved up, okay? I went on to some of the regional health systems to start a 503c foundation for them. And eventually, after sitting in boardrooms in major regional hospitals and on the board of a local university, I went full-time on the professional speaking circuit. I have worked with some of the greatest people along the way. Lots of times when I sat in a boardroom as a board member, whether it was healthcare or a university, I would ask myself the question, what am I doing here? Because I had the opportunity to learn from some really great people. Over the last 20 years, I have worked in all 50 states as a seminar leader and a training leader. Got to see a lot of great people, best practices. It's a big world out there and there's a lot going on. And I think I can bring that knowledge and experience to Trousdale County. The driving force behind everything I've ever done in my life is to have as positive an impact as I can on as many people as I can. Someone has asked me, why would you run for mayor? One reason is because we have 7 grandchildren that will be enrolled in school this fall. But the other reason is because I look around and I ask myself the question, how can you have the most impact on other people in a positive way with your life? And I saw the opportunity to be your mayor would give me a greater opportunity to be of greater influence. Leadership is an interesting thing, and it's not something that you learn being in a boardroom or being on committees. Leadership requires qualities and skills that it's a different set. I've watched a lot of Major League Baseball in my time. I know the game, but it doesn't make me a pitcher. I would like to ask you for the opportunity to bring the experience that I've had, the knowledge that I've gathered, to make Trousdale County a better place. There's so much to be done. And one of my main goals is to bring the downtown back. And we're already working on that. Thank you.
Okay, they drew numbers when they came in for these questions. And I think, Jack, you have number 1, is that correct? Okay, if you would come back. I'm going to give you 5 minutes again and tell you something else I'm going to do. When you get to 1 minute left, I'll give you 1 and maybe a half. So
can I go back and get my notes?
Sure. Five. Well, we need to know. What, 3? Sure. Okay, we've got 3 minutes here, and I'm gonna time you. There are 3 questions here.
Do I get all 3 or 1 at a time?
You can get 1 at a time.
Okay. Okay.
What priorities will you bring to the job as mayor? What priorities will you bring to the job as mayor?
Since I've been here for 38 years, I've watched the downtown, and it hasn't changed a lot in all those years. We have two basic ways to get revenue for our county. One is property tax, the other is sales tax. Not enough people outside our county are spending money here. Most of the development in the western part of the county, those people get up in the morning, they leave the county, they go work, they buy their groceries at Publix and Kroger and their gas, they come back, they sleep, and then they leave. I think small towns will be a magnet to the metropolitan areas going forward if we have something to show people. And so one of my priorities is to bring back the downtown. I'm already working with a group of young professionals who I saw grow up, who stayed at our house. I rolled yards with them. We got caught one time. And I think trust is a big factor in leadership. People have to know you to trust you. I didn't know when I started writing columns for the paper 11, 12 years ago that it would give me the opportunity not only for people to know me, but to know who I am, how I think, what I stand for. My second priority is simply being transparent. I think people like to know. People don't like surprises. I learned from a great mentor, whenever change is coming, and it's not just coming, y'all, it's here. I tell people laughingly that people are coming from Utah, Washington State, Oregon, Mount Juliet. They're coming to be here. But in order for them to come, and you've heard the old saying, it's a great place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. If we don't do something to the downtown, this is going to be a great place to live, but no one wants to visit. So there's so many things we can do to enhance the downtown and the city at large. But I think in order to do that, people have to trust you. The most important two words in leadership are this: follow me. There's an old saying that says you cannot lead where you do not go, and you cannot teach what you do not know. And I think there's a group of young professionals in this town who trust me, who have the excitement and the energy that I do to begin to transform the downtown. So people will be coming here and spending money here to build our tax base. But the two things are the downtown, which is very important to me, and to keep people informed as to what is going on. If I might say, I got 1 minute when you stand up, or is it 15 seconds? You know, if I'd known you was going to read that letter for Mr. Gregory so well, I would let you give my speech. Jeez, that was so good. You know, if the big issue, ladies and gentlemen, with the rock quarry was that it caught everybody by surprise. That should not have happened. People should have known early in the process that something was going down. And I'm committed to being a mayor who keeps you informed. Thank you.
I started to say, I don't know who has number two. Apparently Mr. Ferguson is number two. Same question.
Before you hit the clock there, I did ask Jack that after the first question, could we take our numbers and swap around? That, you know, I'm third. Where's the mayor? All right, he's next.
I was looking forward to going last so I can know what to talk about. Well, priorities of mayor, I'll talk about the downtown. I got us in the Tennessee Downtowns program through the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development. Through that program, we received a $15,000 grant that we used to do facade improvements here in the downtown district. We gave out grants to 8 building owners, and out of those, 7 projects were completed. That totaled up about $13,000 in grant money, but it also spurred $11,000 in private investment in the downtown to repaint the buildings, replace windows, fix awnings, fix pavers, and those things like that. As part of that program, we also received training in downtown revitalization. Again, coronavirus didn't help us out on that front, but we've also worked with the Industrial Development Board to get a downtown strategic plan put together through a consultant firm that they've used. Hopefully we'll use that to go forward. One of the things we need to look at is a downtown development district, which could provide tax incentives to building owners who have to do extensive renovations on their buildings. Another thing I want to continue to do is focus on economic and development, and that's not just retail, but also industrial. As I've said, we recruited several businesses here and had several startups that have created jobs here in Trousdale County. One of the things, if you get jobs here and people live here, go to their jobs, you'll find out what Disney and Universal did when they built all their programs. If you keep your people in property, and then that means in county, they will spend money inside your county. So if we increase the number of jobs here, we'll have more people shopping at our shopping at our grocery stores, eating in our restaurants, and that's going to serve to incentivize new retail groups to move here. And that's going to, as I said, play into what we've been doing previously, which is working with a consulting group called Retail Strategies to market Trousdale County. They are actually working on our behalf. They're going to shows all over the country, including Las Vegas, marketing Trousdale County. As we found here in the last 2 or 3 months since we've seen a downside of COVID, we've actually gotten more interest in locating here. And that's not just places to shop, that's also places to eat. One of the things that's been detriment to us is not having buildings ready to go. So we're also working to recruit commercial developers to come in and develop some of the commercial property we've got along the highway. And that'll provide not just jobs to people here in Trousdale County, but also increase the number of sales tax that we collect. And the sales taxes we collect will take pressure off property taxes. That's why if you see some of the surrounding communities and look at their sales tax collections versus ours, as sort of percentage wise, that helps them out tremendously. So those are 3 priorities we're working on right there. And as well as the planning, as I said, going forward, working with the Planning Commission on the programs that it should have had input on before, but has not. We get those plans together and then we'll know exactly where we're going as we move forward. And I was only 1 minute over.
It's always nice to go last. I know that's going to change in a minute, but in terms of priorities, as being the mayor, I have some things I'd like to talk with you about for just a second. Education comes to mind first, being a former school teacher. The last time that we gave our school teachers a local raise, and let me explain how that works for a second. Most of the raises that come on a yearly basis or whenever the teachers get a raise is normally from the state of Tennessee itself, a majority of it. The local governments can match it or can do a raise of their own in addition to the state raise. The last time the teachers of Trousdale County were considered to have been given a local raise was some years back, and myself and Steve Whitaker and Linda Johnson were the first 3 to stand up and says, let's give the teachers a raise for some of the accomplishments that they have given us. And we were able to accomplish that. First, it was 3 to 17, and then later it changed, but we were able to do that. So teachers didn't make enough money back when I was a teacher, and they still don't today. So I always want to support the teachers as one of the priorities as we are, as mayor. I'd love to keep our classroom sizes down if we can possibly. So that's one thing I really want to focus on is education. Emergency services is very important to me. I'm on the Emergency Services Committee. I've been on that for 11 years. That basically deals with ambulance and fire. And so I recently, about a month ago, talked with both the fire chief and the ambulance director together. And I said, what can we do to help our both services? I've been on the ends of the county. There's concerns with response times and things of that nature. And they both kind of had the same answer. They said, Bill, the thing to do is try to help us at the fire department and the ambulance at the same time. Our ambulance service, when it's fully staffed, has 15 people. About a month and a half ago, we got down to 6 people. We run 2 trucks 24/7 in normal times, but we have had times where we were down to 1 ambulance recently. We're going to have to do better as a county providing services. When I talked to Mr. The fire chief, Jay Woodard, I said, Jay, what about fire? He said, Bill, we are the most vulnerable when it's Monday through Friday, when all the volunteers are at work. They've had fire calls that came in, and I said, on average, how long does it take to get that fire truck out? 6 to 7 minutes to get that fire truck out the station after the call has come in. It has taken as long as 12 to 15 minutes. So I think in terms of volunteers, we thank them for their service. They got to work for a living too. So a lot of times they may be out of town. I think the time has come for us to try to create a hybrid model where the fire department and the ambulance service work together. You put 2 people down there, 8 to 5 is what the fire chief and the ambulance director recommended. And they're not just fire trained though, they're medically trained too. They're EMTs. So emergency services, education, we're going to work on that downtown area as well. And I'd love to have a community center if the people are willing to do that. And those are some of my priorities.
Okay, we have another question and another order. And first up here will be Bill Ferguson. We have 2. Okay. I'm sorry. You're 2?
Yes, sir.
My bad. Okay, let's see. Let's get this set up here. Explain your management style.
Well, there was a football coach who's now a NASCAR owner. His name's Joe Gibbs. And he talked about his success, not just in winning Super Bowls, but also championships and races in NASCAR. And he said the thing he learned is you put the proper people in the right positions and let them do their jobs. I try to get those people in the positions. I work with them, talk about what they need, work with them as we go through the year. When the issues pop up, how can we make things better as we go through the year? And we've done that with our Public Works Department, our fire EMS. We actually are back to almost full staff now. We do have a few shortages in the paramedics, but as far as advanced EMTs and EMTs, we are fully staffed in those regards. And then also looking at what they need. That's one of the reasons why I asked that the commission fund a compensation study to see what our pay was for our county employees. I knew we were behind, but I couldn't tell you what. As part of that compensation study, we got a recommendation for increases for our county employees, which we hopefully will pass in this next budget, and that'll be a dramatic help to some of our county employees. Also, as part of that, it did a review of our benefits and found out we were short on our insurance. We actually have a proposed plan right now that's being evaluated that should be better for the county employees, lower their cost overall. So with increasing their pay and lowering their health insurance costs, hopefully that'll be better. Also try to work with members of the community. I've had several things I've put together. One of those is a mental health and substance abuse task force. We've had issues with that in the past, and that just was exacerbated by coronavirus. So I'm working with the Health Council, local churches and providers to assess what we need to do. I'm really relying on them for their expertise and knowledge in those areas to come up with a proposal that we can use some of the federal funds we got, as well as applying for other grants. So I firmly believe that working with multiple people, getting multiple points of view, you arrive at a better conclusion. And that's why I've tried to do that, not just with the department heads and other officials, but also with members of the community. And also as we go forward, I look forward to continuing that as we work on other things such as downtown revitalization, our transportation planning, our comprehensive development plan, working with the planning commission to make sure we've doing these things properly, that we've got everybody on board, got everybody's support as we move forward.
Number 3 is next. That is Mr. Ferguson. Explain your management style.
Well, I tried to swap the number with Jack, but he wouldn't do it. So I had to go next. I was a manager at Riddell Football Company for 8 years. I managed the Southeast Division, had 12 reps, and a couple of things that come to mind when you ask management style. You know, John Wooden, the famous coach at UCLA in basketball, says, do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can. Always find the employees or the persons that work with you and try to help them and excel in the areas that they are best suited to do their best. I've always thought that it's better to take an employee and make them a better employee than it is to remove that employee and start over again. One thing I've always tried to do in a management style is follow a phrase that I carry in my pocket. It's an old one, but it's a step on the widely used staircase at the Vermont School of Law. And it's in Latin, and the students go up and down those stair steps for 4 years as they study for their law degree. It's adi autem partem. It's in Latin, and it says, hear the other side. I think that's very important in our country today, to always hear both sides of an issue before you actually make a judgment call or a management call. Today, we tend to want to just force what our thoughts are on somebody and not hear the other side. I think that's very important in a management style, to always listen to both sides of an issue before you make decisions. I also, of course, you can tell I'm sports oriented. So I've always heard the phrase, I'm not sure it's the best phrase, but I'm gonna go ahead and use it anyway. You can't steal second base until you're willing to have the courage to get your foot off of first. Sometimes in a management style, you have to take risks. Sometimes that risk comes with a reward. Sometimes that risk comes with a bad judgment call. As a manager, I always want to do what I can to take some risk because it has rewards with it. But I think over time, and there was once a Colonel Ironsides that was a Union general, I hate to use Union general, but I will in this case, being an old history teacher. And someone said to him once, you make a lot of good judgments in what you do. He says, let me tell you about good judgment. Good judgment comes from experience, and experience many times comes from bad judgment. And so you have to think about that a minute as you grow older, and the things that change in your life and the different philosophies that you adopt as you get older. A lot of times that's based upon the fact of things that you did that didn't work out. As a commissioner for the last 16 years, I'm sure I've made decisions. I know I've made some that really I went back and went, ooh, I wish I hadn't done it that way. Or maybe we should have thought about this. We missed that one. I think we do that in our everyday lives. But as a management style, we always got to be able to forgive ourselves, but we always got to be able to take that risk. And we always got to help the people that are in the positions that know what they're doing, help them be better in their positions as it relates to their line of work. That's my management style. Thank you.
Mr. McCall?
I would describe my management style as being very open, very easy to understand. In a time of change and transition, one of the key factors that you have to employ is communication. As long as people can deal with change, if you're giving them as much information as possible in the process. I thought of three things when I thought about my management style. One is to involve the community. The most successful companies that I've seen over the years are the ones who have either community boards or community advisory boards, top people in the community. And someone said earlier tonight, there are a lot of great people moving in here with great ideas, with solid moral basis, good people. And I've met a lot of those as I've been out in the county. And I think it's important to involve them in the process and get their ideas. Secondly, I think you have to grow your community. I mentioned in the last forum that I really do believe that it's important to work with our youth and begin to instill in them some leadership skills, some life skills. I've talked to the Agriculture Extension Service and working with our school system. I would love to start a class every year. And I don't say this jokingly, but to teach kids not only how to count money, how to balance a checkbook, what employers are looking for, how many things are out there for you to do now that pay well outside of a college education. We need good plumbers. We need good welders. And a lot of kids don't know that. They don't know that those opportunities are out there. The third thing is to keep everyone informed. As I say, I have an open management style, and I'm a delegator. One of the mayors told me not too long ago, former mayors, that one night he was called to town at 10:30 at night because of a barking dog. I won't get out for a barking dog. I'll call animal control and say, we've got a barking dog, and if you can't solve the problem, call me. I believe in allowing people to do their jobs and giving them the freedom to make a mistake. We have a lot of capable people that work within our government, And I think we should let them do their job. I'll take one other point from a book called The 1 Minute Manager from years ago. Rule number 1, 1 minute goal setting. Let everybody know what your vision is and how we can get there. Number 2, 1 minute praising. When your people do well, tell them consistently. Then it's easier for them to swallow when you step in with a 1 minute reprimand and say, this hasn't worked. Because if you brag on people when they do well, they're more inclined to listen to you when you have something critical to say. Thank you.
We have one more question, and apparently we're 3-1-2 on this. So Mr. Ferguson up first.
Yeah, I'm still number 3.
I guess you need a question.
It'd be helpful.
I got too much going on. How do you plan to manage the explosive growth in Trousdale County?
The growth that we have in Trousdale County, out of the 95 counties that currently exist, Trousdale County is 88th in its number of population. I looked at the U.S. Census recently, the last year, as you go on the website, it said we're at 12,035. Now you take out the prison population out of that, you're probably somewhere a little over 10,000 people. In terms of controlling the growth, we know that the growth is going to continue. We know that there are family farms that have been in our county for generations. I live on one that's been in the family for many generations. And some of the people that own the farms have had kids that haven't worked the farms anymore. They're not from here anymore. And as people inherit farms, then it becomes subdivided, and then you have more houses. Our way of life is something that's very attractive. I say in the real estate business that I used to say people are moving to Tennessee. I think they're escaping to Tennessee. I think our way of life and our conservative values and our low tax structure and our courtesies to each other. There's a family that came in earlier tonight that I helped them move here from Utah. And they said, it's just unusual where we live, that people are nice and people will hold doors for you and people will step out of their way to help you in whatever needs you might have. But in terms of controlling the growth, I think we have zoning that can help us. We have different committees that look at planning that was mentioned earlier tonight. How do we plan for the different areas of the county? We're going through some of that right now. So it'll be a combined effort as we look at the growth, but I think we have to embrace the growth to a degree because we know that it's coming. We live in a land of private ownership, so I can't tell the neighbors, no, you're not going to sell that to that guy because he's from up north. You can't, you have certain controls that you have and you certain things that you don't have. So I think we need to look at our growth in terms of, we know it's coming. How do we best manage it in terms of the controls that we have? And how do we use that as the groups and the policies and the codes that we do have in order to make it best for everybody? That's why we have zoning in the county. That's why we have planning and people coming in and doing the different things that they do in terms of trying to move here. I'm hopeful that the growth will allow us to keep our tax rate down because with the additional revenues that are generated by that will be helpful. It will help our downtown, as the mayor had mentioned earlier, in terms of the growth, because you have more people to go buy things and you have more of an opportunity to make a profit with the business that you open up downtown in the area. So to me, the managing of the growth is knowing what parameters we do have to control and which ones we do not.
Number 1, is that Mr. Jack McCall?
Unfortunately, the situation we face is this: during slower times, is not seeing the growth coming and making allowance for the fact that we've got this growth coming. What happens is, and Atlanta is a prime example, that oftentimes counties and municipalities are running behind and trying to catch up with the growth, which gives us a situation of how do we use zoning and how do we do planning to say enough's enough. In Gallatin, for instance, there was a big residential area wanting to come in. What they did was they analyzed that you didn't have the roads for it. You didn't have water and sewer for it, and they turned it down. What that meant was that someone missed a great opportunity for profit. You know, at some point in time, I think our zoning folks and our planning commission have to say, you know, that's great. And it would be a lot of houses and it would be more growth, but we can't handle that growth at this point. But I think that may be solved for all of us as a recession and a downturn is coming. And it may solve the problem for everybody because things are going to slow down, and it may be soon. It's not if it's going to slow down or if a recession's coming, it's when it's coming. It may be in a year, it may be in 2 years. But I think then we have to make the decision as we look at our growth. You know, do we begin, for instance, with the water department? Do we begin to replace a certain number of miles of water? Someone told me that the main water trunk has been here 50 years old and it runs right down the middle of McMurray. Okay. But this is not a situation that's unique to Trousdale County. Most of these rural counties are in the same situation we've been. We've outgrown our water system. And so do you begin to replace it partly at a time, or do you wait till it all goes down and say, uh-oh, and then deal with it then? I think at some point in time, we have to slow down the faucet for all the growth that's coming because we're not prepared for it right now. Thank you.
Mr. James?
Well, how you're going to deal with the growth is you have to prepare for it. When I came into office, we started looking at grants we could apply for, infrastructure grants and all kinds of other grants, parks and recreation grants. And the first question that the state asks you or the federal government asks you is, what is your plan? Well, we had no plan. So as I came in, we started doing planning. We did a master plan for improvements at the park, and we were able to get the local Parks and Recreation Fund grant to improve the playground out there. We're working with the Corps of Engineers to try to expand other recreation opportunities at Pine Cove, Second Creek, and Taylor's Landing. As far as looking at more infrastructure, again, we had no plan. It was replace this line here. Okay, and now what do we do over here? When we had an assessment done of our sewer system in 2017, it said we had almost 60% infiltration and inflow. What that means is that is rainwater leaking into your sewer system through either cracks in the line or leaking manhole. And that was costing us about $135,000 a year to treat. Working with the water board, we have begun a 20-year master plan of what we're going to do, how we're going to replace lines, whether water lines, sewer lines, building tanks. We know we're going to need a new water treatment plant. Ours was built in 1954 and cannot handle the growth we've had. And not only are we selling water to Trousdale County, we also sell water to utility districts in Sumner, Macon, and Smith counties. And we are the backup water supply to Lafayette in times of drought. We are not equipped at this time to handle that. So we've got to get those plans in place. You get your plans in place, then you can use that to see when you're going forward, what are your expenses going to be, and try to apply for grants and everything as you move forward. Working with the Planning Commission, we need to update our growth development plan. The last time that was done was, I think, somewhere around 1998 or 2000. So our plan is drastically out of date. I had the Greater Nashville Regional Council come to the Planning Commission and tell them what would be involved in the growth development plan, and we need to do that as we go forward because you look at all your infrastructure. It's a very holistic approach. You look and see where you've got water lines, sewer lines, what is the road capacity of your roads, and then you plan out where your zoning area is going to be in the future, your high growth areas. Where's your commercial areas going to be? Where's your industrial development going to be? We do not really have that right now. So we need to work on that as we go forward. And I think as we go through that process, getting a lot of input, not just from the Planning Commission members, but also other relevant boards, commissions, departments, and also the citizens at large, we'll come up with a very good plan to manage our growth as we go forward. And then we can capitalize on that growth through industrial recruiting and retail recruiting by showing them that we do have people here to support their labor needs and also to bring them the business they need to make their businesses sustainable. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that wraps it up. Could we have a round of applause for everybody that stepped to that microphone tonight?
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. The chamber is always proud to sponsor this event. I view it as education, and I love education. It's especially important that all the citizens get to put a name and face to their commissioner, because our commissioners are the people who affect our life, and our sheriff and our mayor, but who affect our lives intimately on a daily basis with the decisions they make. So thank you for coming out. I hope everyone votes. Have a good evening.